Good morning, class. As promised, here are a couple of major issues that I'm seeing in annotated bibliographies so far. You're going to want to make sure you look through your text and uh, confirm that you're not making these mistakes. So, first of all, please remember that you can analyze a source and claim that it's not credible, or not persuasive. So, I saw a lot of peer reviews saying, well, clearly this author had a hard time finding credible sources about this opposing point of view. You can locate sources that aren't credible. You simply have to prove with your analysis that the source is not credible. So that is the scholarly part, is that you're unpacking a source and making a claim about its persuasive qualities. So don't forget that. And then I am seeing a lot of dropped quotes. So that means a quote that appears in the text without any sort of explanation or lead up. It can be something so simple like the authors explain, or you can have a sentence that is a paraphrase with your own words that includes the quote. So that's another way to do it. But make sure you're not dropping quotes in without explaining them and then ramping up to them. So then next, when you analyze and summarize, I'm seeing a lot of missing analysis, a decent amount of summary, but make sure that you're giving evidence to prove the existence of the claims that you're making. So this is where the direct quotes are going to come in handy. So if you analyze a source is a great demonstration of logos, then you have to explain where you're finding logos in the text. So then you also are going to want to use transitional phrases instead of starting every single paragraph with this article does this author says this. You can do that with some paragraphs, but to up your scholarly tone, you're going to want to alternate. So I am going to include this in my announcement. It's also linked in this PowerPoint, but I love the Wisconsin Handbook of Style. They have a word bank of transition phrases that are solid. I use this in my writing all the time. So I'll link this here to give you some ideas of how you can move your text. Sorry, my dog dropped his bone. How you can move your text forward in a more scholarly way. So I'm looking for a through line. You need to make sure that you're constantly proving that these articles go together. So that's going to come through in your synthesis. You picked these articles for a reason. Part of the purpose of this paper is for you to prove that this conversation is important because of XYZ. So, also, please remember it's not your perspective, it's the author's perspective. So, you have to make sure that it doesn't sound like an argument paper from your point of view, that you're constantly referring back to the article and analyzing the article as a text without making this opinion piece from it that sounds like it's coming from you. And then lastly, this is probably the biggest thing I'm seeing is a lack of parenthetical citation. So even if you don't want to quote from the text, which you don't need to, you're still paraphrasing from the text. So you have to cite that information with parentheses. So if you don't have any parenthetical citations, I can promise you that you will not like your score on this essay. So I've linked a couple of things. So, first of all, I know it's kind of easy to forget what was on which slide deck. So, I linked the slide decks that I think will be the most valuable for you to go back to. So, day 15, this is the annotated bib equation. That's where I talk about things you should include in your summary and analysis. And then day 17, that's talking about the difference between summary and analysis. So, those two are similar. And then lastly, this is for you all that are missing parentheticals, it's citation practice. So the day 19 slide deck has examples of what the citations should look like. And then lastly, I linked that transitional phrase word bank. And actually, after I make this video, I think I will include the example annotated bibliography. Take that with a grain of salt because it is written in APA, but it does display what your annotated bib should basically look like. So I hope you have a great day. I will see you Friday. And remember, this is due Friday at midnight. And if I don't see you today, I hope you have a great rest of your week. Bye, all.